Hello there. Hi, friends. As you will know, if you've been receiving the newsletter the last couple of months, you'll know that things are changing for me and Em personally, and there are also changes, therefore, for Lighthouse Community. Emma and I, very clearly, we heard from God at the beginning of the year in our sabbatical, and God very clearly spoke to us about coming home. So we're heading back to the UK in June next year, June 25. And as part of that transition for us, I'll also be returning to teaching in a couple of weeks' time, actually, back to the school where I've taught before and was vice director there, and I'll have a class from September. So I'm back in a couple of weeks, and therefore that reduces our time that we have available for different things. So this will be the last of the Lighthouse Community newsletters. So after 3.5 years or so of every month. Sharing information and stories and people sharing their lives. This will be the final newsletter. During that time we've produced 166 articles, which is quite something, written by dozens of contributors, men and women all across the community. The heart of the newsletter was always that it would be a reflection of the different people that we are in the different places that we live in. And yeah, it's been received by literally hundreds of people like you who've shown an interest in us as a community and have signed up for our newsletter. So hundreds and hundreds of people have received that. And so in this final newsletter with this video, we just particularly wanted to say a huge thank you.
Yeah, first of all, thank you to all of you that have read the newsletter every month and for your wonderful comments and encouragements. Thank you for all your prayers. We know many of you have so faithfully prayed for us over these years, and for the nations in Lighthouse, the churches and individuals, and we're so grateful. We know prayer really does change things, so thank you so much for standing with us in that way, and also so much gratitude for the money that you've sent. We've been supported monthly, been able to support churches and individuals. The money's been used to bring people together that otherwise would have been very isolated. We've been able to buy winter fuel for people to have heat through the cold months of the year, and hundreds of refugees in Ukraine have been cared for as a result of your generosity. So thank you so much for all that you've given and the way that you've stood with us.
Particularly as well, I just want to say thank you for the people who have contributed to the newsletter. Many of us are in small things, juggling work and juggling little church plants and so on. So making the time to write and contribute to the newsletter. Thank you to everyone who's done that. It wouldn't have existed without you, for sure. And particularly thank you to Daniel, Ruben and Jockey. These guys are Christian missionaries in Romania, but they also happen to run a media business. And so they helped us establish a number of things, but including the newsletter. So thank you for all your support and all your help over these years.
Yeah, really. And we just also want to take this opportunity just to acknowledge all that God has done, the bit that we've seen across these nations over these years. Wow, I have a list here. That's just a taster, really, of what God's done. We've seen people born again and baptised, churches that have been strengthened, wonderful relationships have been built that we trust will just last for years, isolated people drawn into community, individuals helped to walk in their giftings. The gospel's been preached in numerous places, including schools and prisons and out on the streets. Bibles have been distributed so that people can read the gospel in their own language. People have been fed, housed, clothed, given fuel to heat their homes. And through Lighthouse, we've raised over £350,000. That's over €4,000 since the outbreak of war in Ukraine, and that really has enabled the care of hundreds of refugees. Wow, amazing. So many of those have come to know Jesus as a result of practical care, and we're so grateful that God is with us and has done amazing things, and we just give him the glory for that.
And so what's next for Lighthouse? Well, the newsletter stops as of this issue, but the Lighthouse community will continue. So we will continue to meet. We have our annual get-together in person in October here in Gdańsk, and we'll be gathering for that. We'll continue to meet online. But we are in a period of transition. Emma and I God very clearly spoke to us about our wine has run out and it's time for a new season. And so there will be change, but we're looking to God in that, and we have time to see what He has to say, and for us to be able to walk in that world together. So our newsletter will end, and if over the years you've grown a particular heart for some of the people in our community or a particular nation, and without the newsletter, obviously there's not information being shared there. But if you particularly want to keep up, then just get in touch with us. Drop us an email, and I can put you in touch with the people that you still would like to stand with in prayer or support.
Yeah, finally, we just ask you, please keep praying for the nations represented in Lighthouse. There are still many people that are living out the gospel in these places, and we know how much prayer changes things. So we just urge you, like Paul does in Ephesians, please keep praying for all the saints in these nations, and let's see what God will do.
So thank you. Thank you for your interest, your heart, your love, your prayers, your support these last years. It means a great deal, and we've been very blessed by you. Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.